This is going to be a terrific game. Oh, nice shot. Oh, that's gone. That's gone. It's a beautiful shot. Nicely played. The atmosphere here is electric.
So alive. Watch the sun come up over the city again.
Senamgela Etegwini, welcome to Durban.
It's a bit warm, it's a bit humid, but it's beautiful.
South Africa against Sri Lanka, and it comes to you from Kingsmead.
Tails is the core, and it comes up tails.
Big on both first.
They've gone up this time, and up goes the finger. Oh, they've gone up on that one. They quite like that, and they do decide to go upstairs. Oh, that's been called too late.
I don't think you're seeing Bolt was as quick as that 15 seconds. Those 15 seconds roll along too quickly for my liking.
Oh, that's a good catch.
That went straight in. If that is given not out, well, I'm walking back to the Caribbean.
Pull them! That's a beauty of a nut! Outstanding delivery!
Really has been a brilliant performance by Sri Lanka, and there is no doubt South Africa are very much on the back foot. And that's a nice shot.
Shot.
Oh, now that's interesting. Hit that fine.
He's hit that. He's hit that so well.
Your captain wins the toss, inserts the position and says to you, we need wickets. Well, they got 10. Bowlers have done their job. 235 runs on the board. Now it's up to the batsmen.
Welcome to day number 2, South Africa against Sri Lanka, coming to you live from Kingsmead in Durban. An eventful day 1, and South Africa, as they come in today, must try and stay alive in the game. They've got to hang on, make sure that they get Sri Lanka out for as close to their 235 as possible. Either side of it, actually, for Sri Lanka. What a start to the tour. They've had a bumpy ride of it in the last couple of months or so, but this start will buoy them, no doubt, and they'll be looking forward to day 2. Welcome to it. It's a bit of a cloudy one today, but we expect that it will hold out as far as the weather is concerned, and there'll be more action on the field. Before I get to the couple of gents who are alongside, let's have a look at how things stand as far as this game is concerned. Now look at the summary of it, and 235 is a score South Africa will feel is not sufficient as a first innings score. 80 runs to Quinton De Kock. Bavuma batted well too for his 47. The captain Duplessis 35 and out just before lunch. Fernando fabulous with his 4 for 62. And then also Rajita 3 for 68 and Lakmal 1 for 29. Sri Lanka 49 for 1. We'll consider that a decent start, but we'll want to whittle away those 186 that they are behind by. It's good morning then to you, Russell Arnold, and also Robin Peterson. First of all, Russell, how are you feeling after yesterday?
Oh, pretty good really. Initially, happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Yeah, it's a great position to be in. Sri Lanka did lots of things right. Yes, we can ask for a lot more discipline and whatever you may call it, but at the end of the day, to be in such a situation, 1 down for 49 with the whole day to look forward to after bowling South Africa out, and now South Africa a little bit under pressure. They're feeling the pressure. You couldn't ask for more.
Okay, Robin, as you reflected on things at the end of yesterday, what are your thoughts? You've had a time to sleep on it as well. What do you think about how it went yesterday?
Yeah, I thought Sri Lanka would be the happier of the two sides. South Africa probably thought they didn't really do justice to the talent of that batting lineup, but you know, they got to give credit to Sri Lanka the way they bowled. They were magnificent. They asked questions. They put the ball in the right areas at that fuller length, and they got the reward. So well done to Sri Lanka. South Africa, on the other hand, with the ball, didn't respond like Sri Lanka did. I think today you'd see them bowl a little bit fuller, test the Sri Lankans on the front foot, and then use the short ball. So I think, and that's the type of bowling you'd probably want to try and employ on this surface.
Okay, so let's go backwards and kind of go to the toss, which is, first of all, you win it, you want to bowl. This is the sort of thing you want to see from your bowlers, isn't it, Russell?
Early wickets, a lot of those deliveries hitting the stumps, that was the key, and they made the ball swing. Late swing for Fernando, which got them wickets. Along the way, you do find a couple of strange dismissals which come your way, and that's how the game goes. The two batsmen who were batting well, that was Du Plessis and Bavuma. The run out of Bavuma, and just before lunch, Du Plessis caught down the leg side, did make a big difference to the Sri Lankans, but they deserved that bit of luck, which has deserted them for long periods over the last few months. Kept chipping away. 235, you take it on a first day's pitch. I think that was a very good effort, considering the fact that they're a team that are down. They're a team that are struggling in every sense, personal, with injury, mindset. So the heart that was shown was encouraging and a great position.
I think also with Sri Lanka, they had a good start to the bat too. They're 49 for 1. So they've sort of stabilised the game to some extent, but they're going to start again today. I think it's the one part of Sri Lanka's game where hasn't been quite consistent, is been able to put the consistency in the batting as a group. You've seen the talent, there's one or two individuals come and play magnificently, but I think as a group will be their challenge today.
Yeah, I'll shift us back actually to South Africa's batting, and as you look down that scorecard, the runs of Bavuma, the runs of De Kock, and also Du Plessis, it seemed a rescue act somewhat when things were going, the partnerships that Russell is talking about.
Yeah, it was, and they batted magnificently. I mean, there was serious pressure that Sri Lankans were on top of the ball, but we've seen this so often from Temba Bavuma. He just comes in, plays his natural game. I think the way he rotated the strike to me was what was magnificent, to get himself in, the communication between himself and Faf. And then later on, he played strokes like this, the pull shot where we saw in his 100 in his the test match against England. At Cape Town. So a lot of that old Temba Bavuma fight and stroke play we saw yesterday, which was good to see.
Yeah, you spoke about guys being the ones for a crisis, Temba Bavuma being one of them, and many a time in this side he's been with Quinton De Kock to try and rescue the side. Talk a bit about how he played Quinton De Kock yesterday for his 80.
I mean, there are not enough superlatives to describe Quinton De Kock. I mean, he comes in, what I like about him is his mentality. He looks to score, and yesterday he didn't have it all his own way. He said the wicket was a little bit slow, he couldn't play his natural game, and then all of a sudden he just started taking singles, started playing reverse sweeps, the normal creativity we see from Quinton De Kock, and once he got it on his way, you know, he put the opposition under pressure. So it's a pity he couldn't get to that 100, which we talk about so often, but he's magnificent and so valuable for the team at number 6 and 7.
Very responsible and controlled. I was surprised that he left it late to actually take it to the bowlers, but I thought Sri Lanka missed a trick, and that is because De Kock's been very good. The intimidatory factor, when he came in, the field spread. The catchers went off, and Sri Lanka never thought of trying to nick him off like they did to the other batsmen. So he did use that to his advantage, and that's a good trait, that to see that the opposition respect you and they're straight away on the defensive.
Yeah, speak about Fernando. You caught up with him earlier. We're going to hear from him just now, but speak about him and the way he went about going at South Africa's batsmen who were going well.
He's improving. He's very new to to Test cricket, and growing up in Sri Lanka, you don't bowl many overs as a fast bowler. But he keeps running in all the time, and the skills, I like it. He tries to bowl it fuller, and what's very crucial is that he gets late swing. Late swing batsmen struggle to pick up, and that's the result he's getting. Markram and Elgar, it was all due to late swing, even Keshav Maharaj. So I think Sri Lanka have a find there.
I think he's extremely skillful. That's what I enjoyed, Russ. He seems to know what he's doing with the ball, either running it across or swinging it back late, and he was just magnificent. I really enjoyed it. I love it when I watch a left-arm seamer bowl like that.
And particularly when it's a young one. Thanks for coming to the seamer side, by the way. Yesterday it was all about spinners. Yeah, let's hear from Fernando, and Russell did catch up with him not too long ago.
Wishwa, good morning. Your best figures yesterday. How happy are you?
Good morning. I'm really happy about my bowling yesterday. I did basic things. I bowl good lines, good length. That's the key of my success.
How different is it bowling in Sri Lanka to what you're experiencing here?
Yeah, this condition really help for fast bowlers. I think we get that advantage.
On this pitch, and you like to swing the ball. Is that your main strength?
Yeah, I ball in swing for the right-handers. That's a strength in left-armers. So I have it. I get that opportunity.
What's the mood in the camp? Sri Lanka are in a good position right now.
Yeah, we can win this match. Our batters, I think, do it for today. Get a good score and give them to good score.
How is it playing with your childhood friend Oshada Fernando? You were in school together. Are you happy for him? He made his debut yesterday.
Yeah, he's batted really well in school season also. He got 1,000 runs in under 19 season. I really happy about him.
Good luck, Vishwa.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yep, nice. Yeah, nice thoughts, concise with what he is trying to do. He calls Oshada his friend. You call him his friend. No relation at all?
No relation, strangely, but they grew up together, went to the same school and played school cricket together. Sri Lanka have a few of those combinations, so which is special for them. We relate ourselves to our schools, and it's so special. The rivalries there are great, so that's why I had to bring that up.
Okay, so give me what you feel is key going into today.
Dimuth Karunaratne is key, the captain to lead from the front and continue doing what he's been doing over the last 6 months. Because he'll hold it together, close one end up, then the others can express themselves. As long as he's out there, Sri Lanka will stay calm. And I think 325 is a must.
Okay, and your perspective, Robin, from South Africa's side of things, where they're trying to kind of hang on in this game, really.
Yeah, they just need to just do the basics a little bit better. I think they were a little bit short yesterday. They got to pitch it up, attack the stumps, make the Sri Lankans play a lot more defensive shots on the front foot. So I think that's probably what they're going to employ. It's a little bit humid today, so maybe there'll be a little bit of swing on offer, which will allow them to pitch the ball up. So I think that's the way South Africa will go this morning.
Okay, you've got something else to say. I can see you.
Sri Lanka will like it if South Africa are thinking of hanging in there. They probably have a bowling attack that's the best in the world. Do you see them as so far behind?
Well, 186 is not a whole lot of runs, but it's still a lot of cricket to play for Sri Lanka, particularly kind of from where they're coming from and also being in conditions that are quite foreign. So perhaps for South Africa, they have to do it right if they're going to stay in the game, if they're going to get ahead in the game at any point.
And going defensive will play into the hands of the Sri Lankans.
Yeah, don't worry, they won't go defensive. I don't think they'll go defensive.
They'll still use the bumper, don't worry. They'll just pitch it up a little bit more than normal.
I think they'll go all out attack.
Easier to talk. Let's see out there.
Let's wait and see how it plays out. Thank you, Russell. Thank you, Robin. More thoughts, no doubt, and some biting ones as well from Russell from the commentary box a little later on. We'll take a short break, and then we'll get to the pitch to see what conditions are like today. Welcome back to Kingsmead. A look at the weather for today. 14 kilometers per hour, that wind, it's a breeze, and yeah, it helps in humid conditions such as these. 27 degrees Celsius, feels a bit hotter actually. Sweating all over the place. It's 50% chance of rain as well today. Glad to see that the sun's kind of peeped through And that's what it says there, partly cloudy with that picture. Out in the middle now, and a couple of gentlemen alongside me here, Mikey Holding as well as Sean Pollard. Good morning to you first, gents. How are we doing?
Morning. I'm very good, Pammy. I'm very, very good. Looking at this pitch, I would be even happier if I was playing.
All right. Well, there you go. Sean, how are things? You okay?
All good, Pommy. You know, in these humidity conditions and how hot it is, in order to succeed on this ground and in these conditions, you have to be a premier fast bowler.
You have to be a
premier fast bowler to deal with it. To deal with these conditions.
I don't want to be playing then. I wouldn't have been successful. I changed my mind.
You changed your mind.
Yeah.
Okay, let me get a thought from you, Mikey, on occurrences of yesterday, where the game is at present in your point of view, and also what you think South Africa require to do today to kind of stay in it.
Well, I think Sri Lanka should be quite happy with the position that they are in. You know, they bowled the opposition out for 235 on a pitch that has given a little bit of assistance to the bowlers, but I still think it's a very good cricket pitch. And they are 49 for 1. I think that's evidence that it's a reasonably good pitch. If they can continue and make sure that they get a bit of a lead, they'll be very, very happy. Everyone was writing them off. South Africa, though, I'm not too sure the batting was as the standard that you would have expected yesterday. I think Babuma was unfortunate and that started the slide. But then again, the bowlers have to now come out and do a job. If you look at this pitch, Paul will agree. Well, he says you have to be a top-class fast bowler. I think if you are just good enough, you'll be able to get people out on this. It's a good cricket pitch. Everyone has a chance. And the bowlers have now got to come out and make sure that they put their team back into this test match. It's a fantastic bowling attack that they have got, and they have got to prove it.
Okay, Sean, your take first of all on the surface, and then relate it to what needs to happen. I suppose you go back before you go forward.
Yeah, I'll take it the other way. I'll say to you, there's no gremlins here, so there is going to be some assistance. South Africa need to get those wickets, and when they come out to bat second time round, there's going to be no issues with the pitch. It's not going to deteriorate, and so they won't be able to get runs. I think the best time for batting will probably be when they do get to bat second time round. But as Marky was saying, what did we see yesterday? I think it's always a good and relevant point to show what we saw. We saw a little bit of movement, and we saw some decent carry. So we're going to go, first of all, this one nips away from Temba. Look at that carry through chest height on a full-length delivery. Another example, beats Faf du Plessis on the outside, carries through waist high. And then a dismissal of Maharaj gets the edge, and that carries over shoulder height. So from all the seamers, whether you were quicker or not, there's still some decent carry, and as a fast bowler, that's what you want to see. You want to see the ball carrying through. As a batsman, you've got to look and say, well, what sort of surfaces? Can I play shots on the up? Can I hit through the line? And we saw some examples. We're just going to pick 3 boundaries that we saw yesterday. First of all was Temba, decent length delivery. He can just stand and punch it off the back foot. Markram, good length delivery. He hits it off the back foot. And then even Dale Steyn, the tail ender, foolish length delivery. He can just whack through it. When you can whack through the line, that means that it's coming on all right, and it's a nice surface to be able to deal with. So I don't think there are any gremlins. In saying that, we did see one delivery that misbehaved yesterday, and that was a delivery to Temba. It pitched and absolutely took off. It's a lethal delivery, hit him under the armpit. And you're going to say, okay, well, where did that come from? Well, we've done some investigating, and we've got to the bottom. As we rock and roll this, you'll see a little bit of a disturbing of the surface. A little piece pops out, and you think to yourself, okay, well, are we going to see more of that? If we had more cracks on this pitch, we would see more of that, but there's very few cracks. And this is the spot here. When you roll it on, I think we'll get Hawk to maybe show us the red little spot in this sort of area. It's a little crack. That's the spot where it misbehaved from. And you can see it's taken a little piece out of the surface there. And that's why it might just misbehave a touch. But that's going to be few and far between. That's going to be the exception to the rule. And if I ask you to come nice and close here on the pitch alongside, you'll see that if I get and dig in here, there's a little piece that'll pop up, right? And that's exactly what's happened with that explosion. So as the surface dries out, you're going to get the odd little bit of a crack that dries out, and you might get an explosion. But it's not going to misbehave in general. Then if we go and say, okay, spinners, did they have anything to work with? They had plenty to work with. That might actually get less as the game goes on. With this amount of moisture in the surface, often Mikey mentioned on commentary yesterday, if a seamer can get it to nip around, the spinners are going to get it to grip. And here's 3 examples, 2 from the Sri Lankan spinner, which that pitches on middle and leg and beats off stump, which shows that there's some turn. And it's also bounce that people love getting here in Durban. And then later on in the day, Keshav Maharaj just got 2 overs, and he got one of the deliveries to behave like this. So there's plenty for them to work with, and that's why I think it's a decent surface. I think it's probably the best test surface we've been. I think Mikey would agree, maybe a touch slow. But with the rolling, with the sunshine, I think maybe it'll speed up today.
Yeah, comprehensive, I'll say. And as far as what you expect and what you saw yesterday, South Africa's bowlers, how well did they go, do you feel?
Not as well as I expected them to go, to be honest. Even the wicket that Steyn got, you couldn't say that was one of his best deliveries that he bowled in this test match or in this test series. But they have another chance. That's the thing. When you have a short period to bowl one afternoon, you perhaps get a little bit excited, get a little bit carried away, don't really get the ball exactly where you'd like to get it. But then you go home, you reassess the situation, you know you have a full day ahead of you, you come back a little bit more relaxed, and then you can get the job done.
And the nice thing is they've still got a new ball.
Yeah. Just, what is it,
Yeah.
14, 15, 16 overs old, I think it is. Okay, Mike Hazeman caught up with one of the bowlers, young superstar Kagiso Rabada.
KG, thanks for your time. How do you sum up yesterday?
It was a very bizarre day. We also looked to bowl first. And we ended up losing the toss and batting first, and a few bizarre dismissals. Unexpected day. I think Sri Lanka a bit ahead in the test match, but that doesn't drop our spirits. We know we can get right back into this one.
So that means that you guys, and of course you're #1 test bowler in the world and leading the pack these days, that means you guys are going to be fired up this morning.
Well, yes, we know what we have to do. We need to get the ball in the right area, stay patient. The wicket is quite slow, so it's not just going to happen quickly. But you know, it's a game of cricket. Anything can happen, but we're not expecting it to just happen quickly, although it can.
Do you expect the track to quicken up a bit today and get a little bit more bouncy?
I don't get the feeling that it's going to quicken up. I feel like it's just going to stay quite slow.
So the one thing that's very much in your favour is the covers have been on all night and taken off at 6 a.m. this morning. They've sweated a bit, so it's greened up a fraction. The ball is only 16 overs old, so in the morning in Durban we know things can happen quite smartly.
Yes, exactly. Yesterday for the Sri Lankans it happened for them in the morning. Ball was nipping around a bit and also a bit of late swing. But we back ourselves to bowl at any part of the day. We've got the attack to really bowl these guys out. We can do it.
And what's it like, KG, to be part of this four-prong attack? I mean, it's just must be such a great situation where fast, short spells are needed.
Yes, exactly. We've got pace and we've got skill. And that's exactly what we need, especially against a subcontinent team with the extra pace that we've got.
Okay, all the best.
Thank you.
Big smile on his face there as he talks about it. Well, you were mentioning that they didn't quite bowl as well as they could have, and a pitch map, I suppose, is something that would show. Essentially, what are we looking for as we look at pitch maps, Mike, in comparison of the two sides?
Well, first of all, when you look at the South African pitch map, you're going to see some variation there if they put all the bowlers together, because, you know, there are different heights. Some guys are going to be pitching a little bit shorter than some. But what you're hoping for is that with a bit of movement that was available yesterday, that most of the deliveries would have been on a good length. And even if it's on a short length, it's closer to being on a good length than being short. Yeah, you're going to bowl a few short balls. And as I said, just a few overs to bowl, you might get a little bit carried away. I suspect that today you'll see a bit more on full and closer to good full than we saw yesterday.
Yeah, Sean, if you're sitting in South Africa's change room as captain, wind the clock back, what are you saying to your bowling group or as leader of the bowling group?
I'll be saying to him, whatever length and line you want to bowl it with some intent. You know, it almost seemed like it's a bit of a wishy-washy performance from South Africa. It was back of a length because why? They know the Sri Lankans might struggle against short pitch deliveries, but if you're going to bowl a proper bouncer. If you're going to, after that, follow it up with a proper length delivery, so you try and draw them forward and you can bring the stumps into play, the LBWs and the edges. For me, it was almost like, well, it's like a safe length. We can hover back of a length, they'll look to defend it, and we're not going to go in for any runs. But I think they need to come out with some intent. Either put them under pressure with a proper short pitch delivery, or get it on a fullish length and try and pick up the stumps, wickets and pads. Short,
sharp chat to Sri Lanka, who are ahead at this stage.
Well, go out there and start. Just get a good start. That's all you're telling your batsmen to do. I'm not too sure at Mr. Oshada, Fernando, he should be batting the way he batted yesterday, this morning.
Right.
But hopefully he won't be batting against, well, not hopefully, but more than likely he won't be batting against the spinner Maharaj. So he might go out and be a little bit more circumspect and make sure that he gets a good start.
All right, thank you, Mikey. Thank you, Sean. Right, they're on their way onto the park. Let's get day 2 started.
Hello everybody and thanks for joining us. It is day 2 of the first test match, the first Castle Lager test, South Africa versus Sri Lanka in Durban, where conditions are quite overcast today. There was supposed to be a little bit of rain around this morning. It wasn't the case, but it's been overcast since we all surfaced, and the rest of the day is going to be fine according to the weather forecast we've seen. So we'll look for a full day's play and hopefully get lots of cricket underway. Yesterday was a day that certainly belonged to Sri Lanka. They played superbly yesterday and they can be really pleased with the work that they did. And just losing that 1 wicket last night, Dale Steyn picking it up. As we just check out the match summary at this stage, South Africa losing the toss and being asked to bat, were 3 for 17 at one stage, and then there was a good partnership. The skipper was involved in that, and South Africa in the end making 235. De Kock played really nicely for his 80 off 94 balls. Bavuma was unfortunately run out, 47, and the skipper 35. Fernando, really good from Fernando, 4 for 62, his career best performance. And Sri Lanka 49 for 1 at the moment, and they trail by 186 runs. So Steyn has picked up that 1 stick, as I mentioned.